This is a simple video demonstrating how you can use Lovable to build stylish, well-functioning React applications using Descope-powered. So in my previous video and blog, we talked about how you can build cursor or windsurf rules to provide additional context to the LLM so that it better understands the Descope SDKs. And Lovable actually supports something very similar, except it's much easier to build a full-fledged MVP with something like this. And the one-click deploy to Supabase is quite nice as well. So let's see how this works. It's going to start building a sample app using Descope-powered. Now it should do a pretty good job. Lovable uses Sonnet 3.7, and so it should be fairly familiar with our React SDK in particular. But let's just see how well it does. So as you can see, it already knew to import the React SDK, setting up all the CSS and everything. And what we can do is we can fast forward to the end of this. So finished building the application. And if we go to get started, let's see what happens. It says create your account, start your journey on us. So as you can see, it's not working because we don't have a project ID set in the app.tsx, but we can do that now just to try it out. Let's do that real quick. Let me get my project ID and ask Lovable to set that for me. So I'm going to go ahead and say replace your project ID with this project ID. It's going to go ahead and do that for me. And we can actually see the code changes here. If I go to my app.tsx, this should be what is replaced. There we go. You can see it's updated. Now let's actually go to the application and see it working from end to end. So I'm going to load up the preview here. We'll actually see a flow here. I can go ahead and type in my email. I'll get a magic link sent to me. I click on it. And I'll be automatically taken to the app. And as you can see, from the use user hook of the React SDK, it knows who I am. Now, another great thing with Lovable is that they actually let you add additional knowledge as well. So going back to the application, if you want to add additional custom instructions and paste in some of the cursor rules that are specific to the React SDK, you can do that here to provide even more context and make the LLM even more accurate when it's using our Descope SDKs. So let's actually go ahead and try that now. We'll go and paste in our React SDK cursor rules from GitHub in here. So now it should have more context about the React SDK. So if I ask it a question like, what are some of the available hooks in the Descope React SDK? It should give me a more appropriate answer based on the context that I gave. So let's see what it says. It says use session, returns is authenticated, is loading. You can see it's essentially reading from the custom knowledge base like it would if you gave it access to the README. Finally, like any project with Lovable, you can easily deploy to Supabase in one click, making it super easy to publish your own applications.